Greetings, good people, beautiful people. Welcome to Kalame Royalty, the podcast. I am your host, Mihle Chiba. Welcome to episode 6 of season 1. Yes, we are now on episode 6. It's been 6 weeks now. And if this is the first time listening to the podcast, welcome to the podcast. This is a mental health awareness podcast that aims at breaking the stigma and discrimination of mental health in our small Black communities in South Africa. So today on this episode, we'll be talking about mental health and social media. Now, the media has an influence on how life on social media is, on how life is supposed to be. So social media has an influence on us, how life on social media is portrayed. We thrive to be like that. Social media says beauty is changing, and we find a lot of people wear too much makeup or go under the knife just to look how society says a person should look like. And that is fake expectations. You look at how information about life in magazines or social media is being portrayed. Life is portrayed as perfect, glam, and all of that, Unregulated social media leads to a constant fear of missing out, which many refer to as FOMO. People may feel as though others are having more fun than them, which can affect self-esteem and cause mental health issues. While many of us enjoy staying connected on social media, excessive use can fuel feelings of anxiety, depression, isolation, and FOMO. Human beings are social creatures, okay? We depend on social media for companionship of others to thrive in life. And the strength of our connections has a huge impact on our mental health and happiness. Ukuba socially connected to others can ease stress, anxiety, and depression, boost self-worth, provide comfort and joy, and prevent loneliness. On today's world, many of us rely on social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, and what's the other one? Instagram as well, to find and connect with each other. And to be honest, there is a positive and negative aspect on social media. The positive side of it is that while virtual interaction on social media doesn't have the same psychological benefits as face-to-face contact, there are still many positive ways in which it can help you stay connected and support your well-being. So social media enables you to communicate and stay up to date with family and friends around the world. It enables you to find new friends and communities, network with other people who share similar interests and ambitions. It also enables you to join or promote worthwhile causes, raise awareness on important issues like the podcast as well. Kalame Royalty, the podcast. We are raising mental health awareness and teaching people about mental health. And it also enables you to seek or offer emotional support during tough times. It also enables you to find vital social connection if you live in a remote area, for example, or have limited independence, social anxiety, or are part of a marginalized group. And then the negative aspect of social media is that since it's relatively new technology, there's little research to establish the long-term consequences, good or bad, of social media use. However, multiple studies have found a strong link between heavy social media and an increased risk for depression, anxiety, loneliness, self-harm, and even suicidal thoughts. Social media may promote negative experiences such as inadequacy about your life or appearance. Even if you know that images you're viewing on social media manipulated, they can still make you feel insecure about how you look or what's going on in your own life. Similarly, we all are aware that other people tend to share just the highlights of their lives, rarely the low points that everyone experiences. But that doesn't lessen those feelings of envy and dissatisfaction when you're scrolling through a friend's airbrushed photos of their tropical beach, you know. So it does have a negative impact. And also I think with the fear of missing out, which is formal, fear of missing out can keep you returning to social media over and over again, even though there are very few things that can't wait or need an immediate response. FOMO will have you believing otherwise. Perhaps you're worried that you'll be left out of the conversation at school or work if you miss the latest news or gossip on social media. Or maybe you feel like your relationship will suffer if you don't immediately like a picture or share or respond to other people's posts. Or you could be worried you'll miss out on invitation or that other people are having a better time than you. Social media can also make you feel okay. It has like your heavy social media use can be masking your underlying problems, okay, such as stress, depression, and boredom. So like I said, people just post the highlights of their lives, but in reality they're really going through a lot and they don't share that with anyone. So if you spend more time on social media when you're feeling down, lonely, or bored, you may be using it as a way to distract yourself from unpleasant feelings or self-soothe your moods. While it can be difficult at first, allowing yourself to feel can your finding open up to finding happier ways to manage your moods. Another thing, so many of us use social media as a security blanket. Whenever we're in a social situation and feel anxious, awkward, or lonely, we turn to our phones and log on to social media. Of course, interacting with social media only denies you the face-to-face interaction that can ease your anxiety, but it can also like help you to just hide, in a way, hide how you're really feeling. There is also a excessive use of social media can also lead to it does, okay, you can raise awareness, positive awareness on social media, but also other people use it for bad influence. And if you feel bored or anxious or lonely and turn on to social media, you might come across those negative influence that could lead to you to actually increasing your chances of being mentally ill. So I think we need to also focus on learning how to be safe on social media, because there's a positive, you can gain a lot from social media, but also it can also damage you at the same time. So the vicious cycle of unhealthy social media use. Excessive social media use can create negative, self-perpetuating cycle. So when you feel lonely, depressed, anxious, or stressed, you use social media as more often as a way to relieve that boredom or feel connected to others. Using social media more often though increases FOMO, increases feelings of anxiety and depression. And also it gives you the feelings of inadequacy, dissatisfaction, and isolation. In turn, these feelings negatively affect your mood and worsen symptoms of depression and anxiety and stress. These worsened symptoms cause you to use social media even more, and the downward spiral continues. So there are signs that social media is impacting your mental health. Okay, everyone is different, and there is no specific amount of time spent on social media or the frequency you check for updates or the number of posts you make that indicates your use is becoming unhealthy. Rather, it has to do with the impact time spent on social media has on your mood and other aspects of your life, along with your motivations for using it. For example, your social media use can be problematic if it causes you to neglect a face-to-face relationship, interrupts you from work or school, or leaves you feeling envious, angry, or depressed. Similarly, if you're motivated to use social media just because you're bored or you're lonely or want to post something to make others jealous or upset, it may be time to reassess your social media habits. Indicators that social media may be adversely affecting your mental health include spending more time on social media than talking to people. So you see how social media can actually influence our mental health. You can find that a person had a positive and healthy mental health, but as soon as they became addicted to the social media, their mental health derailed. They started having poor mental health. Sometimes they're not aware that they have now poor mental health, and they are letting all that social media influence impact on their lives, but also change their mental health state. So, like I said, I'm trying to keep these episode as short as I can, so that I don't over or give out too much information, because we're gonna have doctors on the show to share to us about what mental health is, what it's all about, the influences, the factors, and all of that. So I'm trying to keep it as short as I can be, so that I don't actually also bore you with too much information that you might not also use or need. So the shorter the episode, the better. So, but I think the second episode, that's when we'll have like longer conversation with our doctors and guests on the show. So this is on season 1. I just wanted to just give out little information as to what the podcast is all about. So it's more like an introduction to the podcast. Mention a few mental illnesses, factors affecting our mental health, children's mental health on social media, and all of that. Okay, so let's go back to our topic of today. And so I want to give out some tips on how to manage the effects. So an individual can make their use of social media positive by you can turning off a smartphone data connectivity as at a certain times of the day, such as while driving or at work or in a meeting. You can try turning off data connectivity while spending time with your friends and family, or leaving the smartphone out of reach while you're sleeping, turning off notification to make it easier to resist the distraction, beeps and vibration, limiting social media use computer rather than the smartphone. And now let's see how we can prevent the negative effects. So people can help themselves avoid some of the adverse effect on social media by limiting use to 30 minutes a day, in turn reducing fear of missing out and the associated negative consequences. By being more conscious of the amount of time they spend on social media, a person may notice improvements in their general mood, focus, and overall mental health. Many people in today's world live in their smartphones as virtual companions. These devices use electric social media networks that alert users to update on friends, favorite celebrities, and global events. Social media has become firmly integrated into a lot of people's daily lives, according to my research. I did a research. I don't know why I stopped. I don't know what's going on with me. So social media as a powerful communication tool that has changed how individuals interact